Hello. Well, how are you? How is everybody? It's Patrick from Eight Questions With, and we are back. Um, yeah, this is the second show of the day. Earlier, we spoke to Gareth from the YouTube channel Video Tasties, and tonight we will be talking to Ashley Sledge, Sledgehammer Horror. Um, this was actually we were going to interview Ashley and her husband Ken together, but Ashley was called away to work, and so we had to reschedule her side of the interview for today. So I'm pretty happy to have her come on and talk to us a little bit about her side of the of Sledgehammer Horror and her point of view about horror films and horror in general. Hey Nathan, how are you, sir? Glad you are here. Glad you are here. Um, yeah, I had a lot of fun this afternoon, and thanks to a pretty sprightly chat and a very fun guest. Oops, hold on, I think I dropped something here. Gotta have that. Um, Thanks to a great afternoon of fun, we interviewed Gareth, and yeah, set this interview up really nicely, actually. All right, so. Uh, Yes, they're rapidly becoming a pair of my favorite people too. They're very hardworking, and very kind people, and have a great sense of humor. And those are everything you look for in people. So heart of gold, raising a family. Um, so I get it, and still have time for fun and family, and of course your daily obligations. Of course, they're a perfect example of they can have their cake and eat it too. So I'm really happy about that. And I had a lot of fun talking to Ken. Uh, Ken came on the show last month, and we had a great time. And hopefully, we're going to do something together. I'm probably won't be probably till January, because you know how December is. December is a really crazy month for everybody. So I don't think we'll be able to do something with them in December per se, but I'm hoping that in January we will team up with them and do some fun collaborations. Um, so, um, wow, I didn't get really to do this too well the last time, so I should do it now. I should go ahead and let people know about the calendar, because everybody knows I live and die on my calendar. Um, so, of course, like I said, we're doing Ashley here in about 10-15 minutes. And then tomorrow we are welcoming in our first wildlife rehabber. Um, yeah, I know. Eight Questions is just not a show where I just interview all sorts of actors and producers and directors. We do try to throw some variety out there, by talking to various YouTube channels, various YouTube creatives, artists. I mean, true artists like paint and sculpture, and so we do try to branch it out. We've had a couple of animal rescuers on the show before. Um, and tomorrow night we have another. We have our friend Brenda, aka Possum Mom, will be here tomorrow, and she is a wild half rehabber, and she saves possums, which is our country's only marsupial. So she has brought a ton of awareness to possums and why we should care about them. And tomorrow night we'll learn a lot more about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And rumor has it we will see some possums tomorrow, so that'll be a lot of fun. I mean, and it's going to be very educational. What can I say? We try to bring it all here to you on Eight Questions With. Uh, But on Thursday, on the 17th, we are back in our wheelhouse as we welcome in film director Brendan Slagle, film director screenwriter Brendan Slagle. He will be here on Thursday at 8 o'clock, and we will be talking about his latest film, The Battle of Saipan, will be coming out. He has also got other films that he has done that you may have heard of, including The Dawn, The House of Manson, uh, Attack of the Unknown, and Crossbreed, among many others. Brandon hates this movie called Dead Sea. He hates it. But I told him that. I said, hey, you did the right thing. You cast a really cool actress in the movie. You need to hold your head up about it. It's probably one of his earlier films. But you know what? Every single director I think that we talked to and we said, be honest with us. What's the one film that you would like to just like do all over again? I think every director would actually have one of those movies that they're sure saying that they would come up there and say, yeah, if I had to do it again, this is what I would do. Um, hey, Drew, how are you, sir? Glad you're here. Ashley will be here with us in about 10 minutes or so. So, yeah, I had to give Brandon a little pep talk about that because he has mentioned that before. Um, but I think every movie that a director does has some sort of value. Not everyone. There has been movies where there's just been no redeeming value in that, but just like anything else, you learn and live from that. And but I have a copy of that movie. I don't know if I told him that or not. Yes, I think I did tell him that. And I am going to watch it before the show. In fact, I might watch it tonight because I just can't imagine him making a bad movie. I just can't do it. So he'll be here with us on the 17th at 8 o'clock, and then next Monday, the 21st, we will be welcoming in comedian and puppeteer Mae Wilson with her puppet, Miss April Bruckner. Now, this will be a first for us. We've never done a ventriloquist with a puppet. Now, we have talked to a puppeteer before, and Tristan Risk. Tristan Risk has she is actually becoming a puppeteer. She is building her own puppet as we speak. But Mae Wilson is a comedian. This is, she uses her puppet as part of her act, and it looks to be pretty damn cute, if you ask me. Let's see. Drew says he saw "Don't Worry, Darling." I heard that was okay. And Top Gun Maverick. I hear that was aces. Hi, buds. How are you? How are you? That's what I heard. I don't know. I mean, I heard that just "Don't Worry, Darling." I hear was yeah. I think there was just too much flack around it. Off screen. Once critics actually sat down and really watched the movie, they said basically the movie was not worth all the hype that they put into it. Let's see. Anthony has 613 subs on his YouTube channel. That's awesome. Anthony's on his way to get his first 1,000 by the end of the year. I think he has a fighting chance. There's our good friend Echo Zero. He's going to be dropping a review of Chinese-speaking vampires here soon. Is that going to be your Dollar Tree theater, Anthony, or Echo? Are you going to do Chinese-speaking vampires for Dollar Tree theater? That'll be a fun one to do. And of course, speaking of that, I did drop my new Dollar Tree theater movie. I did drop it today or last night, actually. Yeah, earlier today, midnight. I watched and reviewed Shutter Island. Let's see. Let's see. Echo saying that no, not reviewing it. Couldn't finish it. Disliked it too much. And that's coming from a man who watched Wolf House and Werewolf Island. It must be pretty damn bad. That must be a really, really bad movie. Oh, well, sorry about that, Echo. I got to go take a look at it. I got to, because, our guest from last week, Constance Steele, she was in that movie. So I have to see it just to see her part. I got to do it. All right, go back into the calendar because that's what you guys are here for. Um, so on, I'm not sure. I think we're going to be doing a round table on the 23rd. I'm not sure since we sort of already did that already last week. So I'm not sure I'm going to do that again. So we might be dark for 2 days. The 22nd and the 23rd, we might be dark. But we will be back on Thanksgiving Day. Thursday, the 24th, we'll be here at 7 p.m. Special start time of 7. Oh, that's right. I got to go fix that. 7 p.m. start time. Uh, that's on the 24th of November. We will be talking to Kristen Welton for, here on the channel. She is a fellow YouTube creative, and she is sensational. She's a very cool lady, and she's a lot of fun to watch and talk to. Hey, Jim, how's your back feeling? I hope your back is feeling much better than it was yesterday. Did someone say dark? I think I did. I think I did. Uh, let's see. Oh, Echo still trashing Chinese speaking vampires. I can see why the movie had a bad smell when I opened it. That's not very nice. It's funny, but it's not it's not very nice. Oh, good. The heating pad helped a lot. Oh, good, good, good. Glad to hear that. Um, I'll send you. I'll be sending you my bill. Of course, the ultimate heating pad is a cat. You get a cat, put that on your back, and make him purr. Man, you'll be fit as rain. That's right. Kristen Welton will be here with us on the 24th. On the 27th here on my channel. We will be the IFC Midnights will be here on the 27th, and we will be talking about a movie called The Vigil. Let's see. Uh, no problem. No problem. Thank you so much, Jamie. Hopefully it'll be quiet, but you know how lately the live streams have been really being hit hard by those sex bots. Um, so being on patrol will be I'll be very grateful for that. Uh, yeah, that's what happened with me, Jim. The cheetah was camped out on my hip, and I had to move. He did not like that too much because you know we're heaters to him. All right. See what else we got on. So on the 27th, the ISC Midnights, we will be talking about the vigil. We will be joined by our usual crew. We'll be joined by our usual crew. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I think that I'm going to be on the road on the Friday the 25th. I think I'm on the road to the Cinema Squad on the 25th. I will see about that if that's a live show or am I just taping it. I don't know what I'm doing. The story of my life. Um, so on the 29th of this month, Tuesday the 29th, we will have film director Kevin Van Hook will be here with us. This is a Grail guest. This is a guest that I have been hoping to get for a while, and I reached out to him, and he agreed to come onto the show, and I'm really tickled to death about it. He has made several fine films, including one film I really enjoyed called Slayers. That is a kick-ass vampire movie. Really cool, starring our good friend Captain Van Dien. And the beautiful Jennifer O'Neill is in there, and a host, Kevin Grievous from I Frankenstein and Underground will also be. We're also in Slayer, so it's a great movie. Kevin Van Hook is a fine director. He has worked on a ton of projects, and he'll be here on the 29th. And then the last day, November the 30th, we will be talking to artist Griffinstone Cats. And both those shows are going to be at 8 o'clock. Griffinstone Cats is a fine artist in his own right. He has created some really wonderful art. He is now being shown more and more on galleries and different festivals and what have you. He is rapidly rising in the art world on the West Coast. So he will be here with us on the 30th of November. All right. Um, let's see. Let me do this here real quick. So Ashley and Ken, they're actually like me. They actually live in Michigan. They live a little bit away from me, sort of like almost in the general area. Uh, but they are also they're big Michigan fans. They're big Lion fans. So not only do they like horror films, but they also like football. And I can understand how I can understand why they became horror fans because any Lions fan will tell you that if you watch the Lions long enough, it's a never ending horror story all in itself. Uh, as I'm discovering this year. Uh, so so me and Ken sometimes we will talk a little football and then we'll talk a little horror. Um, their channel is blowing up too. That's for sure. Um, Ken and Ashley, they have their own built-in series that they do called My First Horror, and they go around and they talk to various celebrities and actors and personalities, and they ask them what their first horror movie experience was. Uh, it's a real short. It's a real short. It's like they. It's just like that's what they do. It's just. It's not like a formal interview per se, but they go out there and say, "Well, so what's your first horror film?" And then you tell them about it. It's a really cool series. It's done very, very well for them in the channel. They have over 300. They're rapidly coming up to 350. 350. That's amazing. Oh, sure, sure. One second. Let's see. Uh, oh, wow, where'd it go? Where's the link at? Oh my God. Oh, StreamYard, you're killing me. That is crazy. Oh man, this has been a hell of a day today. Wow. I sent that out. I saw it. I saw it post. Wow, that is the most bonkers thing I've seen today. I've seen a lot today. Ooh. Okay, you have mail. No, I don't know what happened. I sent it earlier this today, and I looked, and it's gone. So I have no idea what happened. Deeply sorry about that. I had no idea it was not there. That's the reason why I'm just talking away because I sent it earlier. It's in the mail. Give us 1 second, folks, and we'll get this party started. Yeah, there we go. That's bonkers. Man, this has not been my day. Truly, it hasn't. It's been a hell of a day so far. I'm
I'm
really
sorry.
sorry about that. No, I'm really sorry about that. I sent it earlier. I sent it earlier to your Instagram, and then when I
Oh,
went to go in there, all of a sudden it's gone. It's like, that's interesting.
where did
I'm
it
just
go?
talking. I don't know. I'm just talking away, and because I sent it, and I'm just thinking, yeah, okay.
You're like, where's she at?
Uh, yeah, we're just flying away up here and waiting for the bell to ring, and yeah, all of a sudden it's like, yeah, there's no link. Well, we got the link now. Um, I can hear your little ones in the background.
Yeah.
That's that's cute.
Sorry.
That's cute. No, no, no. I like it. I think it's cool. It does that. There's a lot of life in the house.
Oh yeah, a lot of life.
Well, it's very nice meeting you.
It's nice meeting you as well. Thanks for
I know
having
we
me on.
Oh no, not a problem. It's going to be fun. Last month we talked to Ken, and
Hmm.
we had a real fun time. And but I definitely wanted to get your point of view on some of the things because it's actually really rare to talk to a. I mean, there's one thing in talking to an actress who's in a horror movie and talking horror to an actress, but just to
Right.
talk to somebody off the street, just a normal person like we are,
Hmm.
fans. We're fans, and it's
Right.
just really interesting because horror movies. You don't really think of when you think of horror movies. You don't really think of women being huge fans of that. Because it's
Hmm.
a lot of violence, and they always seem to get killed, except for the final girl, and whatnot. But
I'm here for it. I like the gore. Like I'm the one that likes all
yeah,
the gore and the blood and the guts. So yeah.
yeah, that's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun
Yeah.
because it's like, yeah, yeah. Because honestly, I think we all, if we're really honest with ourselves, if we're really truly honest with ourselves, I think we all like to get scared
Oh,
on
absolutely.
some point. I mean, there's some
Hmm.
point watching a movie like, even all those people say, well, I've watched hundreds of horror movies, but
Hmm.
honest, I still look for things that make me go, things that go bump in the night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
That 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 feeling of being scared and that anxiety, like that adrenaline, like I live for it. I like to go to haunted houses. Like I like stuff like that. Like I like that feeling and that adrenaline. That fight or flight type thing.
yeah. I love haunts too. Haunts are a lot of fun.
Hmm.
Definitely. And there's all sorts of things. You go to a midnight showing. Um, it seems
Hmm.
like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's been over a month, hasn't it? It's been crazy. Yeah. He's asking if it's been. Yeah. We interviewed. See. Our interview with Ken was October. Oh, October 18th.
Yeah, so almost exactly a month.
Yeah, I mean, it flies by, doesn't it? Now,
It really does. It's
now
almost
the
2023.
it was funny. It's like because we're gonna have to expose your secret identity, of course, and I'm sorry about that. It can't be helped. But when you were supposed to come on with us last month, you got a call to put on your wings and head on down to the hospital.
Yeah.
Um, You are what do you do at the hospital?
So I'm a respiratory therapist at the hospital.
So
Yeah.
so I call the nurses, nurses and aides like that. I call them angels because because with my wife when she got really sick, we had a team of three nurses that we called angels, and just
Mm-hmm.
utterly completely priceless and invaluable and beautiful, and I have nothing but respect. And my mother was a surgical nurse.
Oh,
um
that's awesome. Yeah,
so
I work amongst many awesome, amazing nurses. We kind of go hand in hand. So, stuff hits shit hits the fan. Sorry about my language. They're calling me like if someone can't breathe, and I'll be there. So
yeah,
that's
I guess in a way, I guess for horror films. Hi, Kevin. I guess for horror films, to think about this, I can understand why you enjoy it a lot, because
hmm
it's like an escapism from the real world, you know,
absolutely
and I could, but still, you still have that same anxiety, but at least it's an anxiety that you want, and that it's welcomed. It's like, okay,
right.
I'm here because I want to get scared.
hmm
Hit me with your best shot. Um,
Yeah,
and which has
yeah,
got to be a little bit different from somebody who's fighting for breath and you're saving their life. It's a
yeah.
different sort of adrenaline.
It's definitely a different adrenaline, when someone is sick and or hurt or whatever, and I'm helping try to save them. I'm in a different mindset, like just trying to make sure that that person's going to be okay. So yeah, it's definitely different.
Now, could you imagine Jason being stupid enough to come between Ashley and her patient? I guess that would probably be the end of the series and the franchise. That would be like Jason ends, and that would be the last
Yep,
time we see him.
I'd put him right into that grinder. He'd be done.
Hell yeah, that would be about it. It'd be like, yeah, you know what, you know, um, she is. I agree, Ken. He says you're a real life superhero. Hell yes. Uh,
Thank you.
hey, Phil. Phil's here. Phil's
Hey,
creepy vid
Phil.
coming on in. Thank you for coming in. Those who want to share us out, please do so. That'll be awesome. So I guess we got to go back a little bit to your beginnings, to your origin, so to speak. Um, so where were you born? Where were you born and raised at?
In Michigan, I've lived here my entire life. And my whole family pretty much lives here. It's lovely here. I know you see a lot of horror movies that Detroit's not the greatest, but if you look and you have to really go see like the beautiful parts of Detroit. I love my home and my family here, so it gets cold, real cold in the winter. You know
Oh
that.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. We're
It's snowing right now.
oh, you got the snow. We haven't got snow yet. We had rain earlier. It rained for like 10 minutes, but it is definitely chilly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's snowing as we speak. I don't love the snow, but it's okay until after Christmas, and then I'm like, all right, I'm done.
Actually, we don't get snow before Christmas. Or do you get snow before Christmas in your area?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we don't get it. We used to get it. When
Okay.
I moved here in '99. We used to get snow.
Okay.
We actually got snow. We had snow as early as October one year,
Mhm.
and and then after, it seems like every year it gets less and less. Last year
Yeah.
was different. Last year, there was a lot of snow last year, but it
Mhm.
came late, like it always has. We don't get our snow here in my area until the middle of January.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I remember like going trick or treating in the middle of a snowstorm. So, yeah, we get snow pretty early,
I think it's the Canadians myself. I think they steal our snow.
probably.
I
I'm
do.
taking it.
I know a few. I know a few sneaky Canadians. I won't name any names. They'll know who I'm talking about.
They
I think
know.
I think they steal our snow. Um,
They probably do. That's okay. They can steal it. Like, take it. I don't want it. I hate
uh,
driving in it.
oh yeah, yeah. Isn't that something? Yeah. That's
Mhm.
how far. Now, are you relatively close to your work?
I have about a 45-minute drive. And I
Oh,
work I work nights, so yeah. Usually my drive there, usually the roads are pretty clear, but in the mornings when I leave is when it's bad because they don't get cleared off that early usually.
no,
Yeah.
no. And not unless you travel down all the main roads, and even then, there's no guarantees.
Right, right. Yeah, so you
So
definitely have to know how to drive in the snow if you live in Michigan.
yeah, but why is it, Ashley? Why is it that they don't? I mean, you know this firsthand from probably seeing some of these fools in the hospital, but
Yeah.
or driving home. Why is it that everybody thinks that with snow on the ground that it's suddenly a cause for NASCAR type driving?
I don't it's either they drive super, super slow, like 2 miles an hour, or they're driving like 70. There's no in between. There's no safety. It's crazy.
It is crazy. I drive. I'm not a 2 mile an hour. I actually don't mind driving in the snow, but
Yeah.
I've seen people on the freeway and they're flying by, 70, 75, and you just know sooner or later they're just not they're gonna miss something, and then they're gonna be
Yeah.
wrapped up and yeah.
That's I'm
Uh,
always like, go around me. Like I don't want
mhm.
anything to do
Oh
with
yeah,
this.
I will more than happy wave someone around me. Go right ahead. You
Mhm.
want to go? Yep, not a
Me
problem. You want
too.
to go? You're a more important meeting today. Uh,
Right.
and growing up in Michigan, what was it like growing up? I mean, were you into sports? Were you into writing? Were you a creative? As you grew up, were you very creative, inquisitive?
Um, so I tried to be into sports. I tried a little bit of everything. I did cheerleading at one point and I played basketball, but I'm not very good at it. I am more into like writing, poetry, stuff like that. I like to make poems and stuff. I like to write like screenplays and things like that. Like me and Ken, we that's one thing that we have in common. Like we like to make movies. So I'm more artsy than I am sportsy. I guess I don't have very good eye-hand coordination or something. I'm not really good at sports.
No, no. I had that problem too. I could
Mhm.
throw a ball, but I couldn't hit one.
Yeah.
Me, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, because I love baseball. The baseball, that was my sport growing up, and
Mhm.
uh, I love to throw. I could go out there and I could throw a pitch pretty well, but when it came down to hitting it, oh yeah, that was yeah. I
Yeah.
I I I'm probably the only person I know that could probably strike out on a T-ball.
I try just for like Ken because Ken loves baseball too. And so like I think he's gotten me more into it. But really the only baseball I watch is the Tigers, Detroit Tigers, and they haven't been the greatest. So I haven't really been watching them lately.
Yeah, I know. I told Ken, of all the local teams that I follow, I do follow the Tigers the most.
Hmm.
Uh, I would say it was Tigers first, and then Western Michigan after that.
Mm.
Because my wife went to school at Western. Um,
Oh, okay.
so even as far as that goes, so I enjoy baseball, and then I found out that I'm not sure if Ken told you or not, but my wife uncle Charlie played for the Tigers.
Oh,
Uh,
wow. That's awesome.
and he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
he's
So have
Charlie.
you been to Comerica then? Have you gone
Oh
there?
yeah, I have
Yeah.
been to Costa I've been to. I saw a statue. He had the statue of Charlie, of her uncle Charlie's at the park. Um,
That's so cool.
it is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get to meet her uncle. Her uncle had passed away before I got here, but
Oh.
his widow was still here, Josephine. So I got to know her, and she was older. Obviously she was older. But let me tell
Right.
you, she had a very sharp baseball mind, and I could sit there and talk baseball with her for hours, and we often did.
Mhm.
It was really fun, and she was so smart.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sure
so
she knew
uh,
it all.
so you grew up as artistic. So do you still write poetry? Is writing your release? Is that what you do to unwind after a hard day? Is that or is it come home and watch a movie?
Um, Honestly, I haven't wrote in probably a long time, but I have 3 kids, and each of them are doing things. My son was into football. My daughter's into dance, and then we have our little girl that's 3. And then I work a full-time job, so I kind of have pushed that to the side, and I haven't done it in a long time. But yeah, probably movies. Horror movies is something that Ken and I really can agree on. So that's usually kind of what we do after the kids are to bed at night, and we have like a night together. That's what we'll do, is watch a horror movie.
Um, so who gets to pick the movie?
We take turns, and then if it's bad, then we're like, oh, like we blame each other. Like, this was your fault that we had to sit through this. Or if it's really good, I was like, oh yeah, I picked that. So
You know what?
I'm
I can tell you a secret. I can tell you a secret right now on how
okay.
not to pick a bad movie.
Okay.
Just don't pick anything that's A24. You'll win all the time.
Uh, okay.
So don't pick Hereditary or don't pick those type. No, I
Mhm.
have to say that because I'm obligated to say that every show. You know, I always have to
So I
talk a
take
little.
it you don't like the Hereditary.
No, God, no, no, ooh, no, not
Yeah.
now, no. Did not like that one too much. But now, were you always into horror fans, or was this something that happened after you met Ken, or is that the reason why you met Ken because you had a love of horror movies?
Um, I have liked horror since being a little girl. Actually, my very first horror movie that I ever seen was Pet Cemetery. I think I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I was just hooked ever since I watched that. I watched it with my little brother, and he was probably like 6. He was probably scared out of his mind, but I was like, "You're watching this with me," and yeah, I loved it. I loved, like we talked about, that adrenaline and that anxiety, and I was just hooked. And I think that that's probably what when we met each other, that's probably something that, we were drawn, because that's something we had in common, because we don't really have a whole lot in common. We're very different. But horror is something that we can agree on. Our first date, we went and seen War of the Worlds. So, and we've been together for 17 years. So I
You
guess
talking about the Tom Cruise one or the classic one?
the Tom Cruise one.
That's not bad. I actually like that movie. I know
Yeah. It was
a lot of people did not. I did.
yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was pretty good. I don't think a lot of people like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, let's see. This is the cheetah making a sweep. All right, come on. All right, cheetah.
Aw.
Yeah, this is the cheetah that the channel's named after. Come on, buddy.
Cheetah.
Yes,
Aw.
right.
And he's the one up in the little corner here. Cute.
Yeah, yeah, that's him.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's a handful. Yeah, yeah, that happens. To sometimes where Kevin's sitting here going like, me and Ken are having a laugh about the A24, and then Kevin's going like, I don't know about that. I've seen some of those Wild Eye movies. Yeah, I have too. I'm not defending them in the slightest. They're not all winners. Yeah, they certainly not. Yeah. Uh, and Gizmo saying it looks like Ashley is a Giallo is in a Giallo set. Oh yeah. Do you like Giallo films? The Italian horror films?
Um, I haven't really seen a lot, but what I have seen, I don't mind. Yeah.
It's hard to know to call them horror films or not. I know they have a lot of elements in it, but I always look at it sort of like it always seems to be more like a mystery. I think
Mhm.
sometimes a movie will get called a horror film as it's just a label they slap on it because there might be a jump scare or two in it. And
Yeah.
like I just watched for the first time, I watched Shutter Island, and
Mhm.
they called it a neo-noir psychological thriller. And then I saw another person call it a horror thriller.
Yeah,
And
I definitely think horror is what you make it. So, some people might consider it horror, some people might not. We actually did a live, it was like horror or not, and we went through different movies and talked about if we thought it was horror or not. And we actually had different opinions. A lot of people did.
really, what are
Yeah.
some of the movies? What are some of the movies that you thought were horror that people didn't think so, and vice versa?
I'm trying to think of some that I had on there. Oh, I think I might have my list on my phone here. Let's see.
Giallo's more body horror films, and yeah, I, oh, Prisoners. Ooh, yeah, I
Yes.
that might be it. That's I heard that's a horror film.
Yeah, I think Prisoners for sure is a horror film. Like that's scary, like getting your kids taken and then not being able to find them.
Um,
I had Stand By Me on there. And I said I thought that was a horror film. That scared me. Like when they find the dead kid at the end, that scared
right.
me when I was younger. Um, but Prisoners was on there. Return to Oz with those little creepy like rolly things, stuff
Okay.
like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think I would call Stand By Me coming of age. But I could definitely
yeah.
see it's one of those that has elements in it. But I could definitely see, seeing it as young as you did, I could see
Hmm.
how that would scare, and that would definitely would leave the mark on anybody who saw it.
Right.
I just don't know if I would call that. I don't know if I would say that. I don't know. I mean, it is a horrible thing to see. I mean,
Yeah.
definitely.
And like the
Um,
greasers, those guys, like the bad greaser guys, like that, like trying to track them down and stuff. I thought they were pretty creepy too.
uh, Kiefer Sutherland is a amazing horror villain in Stand By Me.
He's
Yeah,
just a he's a good villain in general, Kiefer Sutherland.
he's also a pretty good hero though, too. That's one
Yeah,
thing about
he
Kiefer is
can
like,
play both for sure.
yeah, I think a lot of people were really surprised by him when he did 24.
Hmm.
'Cause up to that time, a lot of his movies and everything he'd done had always been on the villainous side. And I think 24 was the first time that he was just an out and out hero. And what was interesting about that show was as the longer it went on, the more cracks came into him because he'd been in the front lines for so long. And then
Hmm.
he toward the end of the when they're doing the series, he saw the show got in trouble for this, but in actuality, it fit the character. Is that he started doing horrific things to people, like torturing people. I
Hmm.
want information. I'm going to take out your fingernails to get it.
Right.
And it sort of went from there's another show or a movie or whatnot that you can sit there and say it's a little bit of a horror film. It has elements of horror in it toward the end of it. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I agree. I think Keith Sutherland is a very good horror villain. Um,
Hmm.
I still have not seen The Lost Boys.
No. Oh,
No.
okay. Well, I might have
Well,
spoiled some stuff for you, but that's a really good movie.
yeah, I still have not seen it. I'm gonna probably catch. I'll probably catch snowballs for saying that, but but I haven't seen it yet. But I hear that Kiefer's really good in that.
Yeah,
Um,
he definitely is.
Now before you met Ken, I mean, what kind of horror did you watch before you met Ken? Did you watch just mainstream horror, or did you were you adventurous and watch the independent stuff as well?
Mostly mainstream stuff, original things, like that's kind of what I grew up on, like Halloween. Um, Michael Myers is my favorite villain. Um, Things like that. Like my family would introduce me to all the original horror. So,
Now,
um,
did you have brothers and sisters that watched horror with you? I mean, you said your brother watched Pet Cemetery. Did your mom and dad watch horror with you?
oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Oh, oh, gosh.
Yeah, it's a family thing. That's why I love like Halloween time and horror, going to haunted houses, stuff like that. It's definitely what I grew up on and it just reminds me of my family.
Yeah, I could see that. Are
Mhm.
do you guys all get together? Are your parents still in Michigan?
My dad passed away 4 years ago. My mom is still in Michigan, yeah. So she's a couple hours away, but she'll come down and um we have like a Halloween party every year and she'll come down for the weekend and we'll do the whole like we make popcorn balls with my grandma and we literally do like a this our like the whole little town that we live in at my grandparents' house we do this trunk or treating thing with all of my cousins and aunts and uncles and like pretty much the whole we live in a small town all the kids come through and they make them hot dogs and everyone gets candy. And so Halloween is a really big deal for us.
Yeah, a trunk or treat, for folks who don't know what a trunk or treat is, you want to explain to us what that is?
Yeah,
Trunk or
so
treat?
you park your cars and you open your trunk and you decorate your trunk, and then the kids come through to each car and you pass out candy and cool stuff like that.
It's it makes it safe too for the kids.
Yeah. Yeah, so they,
Um,
and they get tons of candy. Like they wouldn't even probably have to go trick or treating because they get so much candy.
yeah, I have to admit, Halloween was back this year. We had a lot of kids this year.
Oh,
Um,
good.
yeah, it was a cold night too, and it rained a little bit and everything, but they were out there in force for a good hour. It was like you could hear them going up and down the street. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, so it was good to see because last couple of years, not so much.
Yeah,
Um,
unfortunately.
so how that's a good question from speaking of horror films and whatnot. But how did you deal with the pandemic? I mean, both as a mom and as a nurse, a tech. What's your proper title? I don't want to miss
Re
say.
respiratory therapist.
Okay, as a respiratory therapist, what was it like? I mean, did you depend a lot on your movies to help you get through the 2 years of really bad times?
Yeah, for sure. It was very scary times. We like respiratory therapists, so we man all the ventilators that people go on. So we have to go in all those rooms and stuff, and it was very scary. And like in the beginning, I was actually on maternity leave, so I kind of went into it mid pandemic, and I was so scared because I had a brand new baby at home, and I know, I didn't want to bring anything home to my family. So I would literally I would strip down on my front porch and I would shower, and I wouldn't even say anything to them until I felt like I was, clean again. So yeah, that really pays a toll on your mind. And horror is definitely uh, something that just gets you away from that. And you can just ease your mind and watch this movie with fake, gore and horror and stuff like that. And yeah, it definitely eased my mind for sure.
So how did you and Ken meet? Did you guys meet through an event, through a horror like the theater, or
We actually met through my friend. He was actually dating one of my friends, as bad as that sounds. um, and he met me and he was like, "Oh, she's better." No, I'm just kidding. Um, um, she kind of went away. And so him and I became really close friends, and then we started dating.
he's mentioning that the stripping down on the porch was his favorite part of his day. That, that,
I'm sure it was.
I only had one word to say to that. I just had to say zoinks. But that's all I can say. Nathan's cracking up. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. That's awesome. I mean, then you guys got together, and then I'm sure each other going like, "What kind of movies do you like?" When they both said horror, and both of you guys probably, I'm sure he went like, "Did she just say horror films? Oh, I'm in
Probably.
love. Thank you, dude."
Yeah.
You know what? That's probably most every male's reaction. So, what kind of movies do you like? Well, I like horror movies. Oh,
Mhm.
thank you, God. Um, uh, yeah, my wife was not a horror movie fan.
No? Mm.
No, no,
Does
no,
she
no.
like it now, or is she still?
Um, my wife passed 10 years
Oh,
ago,
oh, I'm
but it's,
sorry.
it's okay. It's okay.
I'm
That's why I have utmost respect for you.
Yeah,
I have for because I know what you have to go through and deal and so I have nothing but respect for what you do, and thank you for your service. Thank you
thank
for
you.
doing it. Um, but
Did she did she watch it with you? Like, would she watch it, or it was more like your thing?
Well, here's how it used to be. Now, tell me if this happened with you and Ken. Remember when
Okay.
we still had Blockbusters and we still have Family Video and we still had
Mhm.
Hollywood. So what was it like going inside the store and picking out movies?
Oh, I'd love to do that. I wish we could still do that, to be honest. Like, I love to go and look at all of the different movies and like their titles and read the back of it and figure out what it was about. Like, we did that every weekend. Like that was awesome.
Now, how long were you in the store doing it?
Oh, probably at least an hour.
Yeah, that's yeah. Because we used to go to Blockbuster, and like they started doing their, toward the end, they were doing that. They're doing the 5 for 20, the 4 for 20. So we go in there, and there's so much there, and we
Mhm.
go in there because most of the time we just watch regular TV. But once in a while
Right.
we would go down there for the sale, and we get a few movies. But going inside there and walking through and trying to pick something, it just became rather like, holy crap, because there's so many. There were
Mhm.
so many to choose from. So after a while, my wife would just sit there and say, you go, you pick them out.
Just
So
pick
of course,
something.
now you would think that would be license to kill for a guy, right? Oh my gosh,
Right.
you think I can get anything? Oh yeah, but that's not how it really works. When you're married, um,
Mhm.
go in there and you go like, okay, well, I'm gonna pick this one for her because this is a movie that she could watch by herself. Then I get to pick one for me. All right, Slasher 101. All right. And then you pick two movies that you like that you hope that both of you like. Maybe a little action with she loved Julia Roberts, so we look for something with Julia Roberts,
Mm.
or something mainstream. Then I would get her something, something that she would like, like a woman, a woman drama, and so I would get four movies, and that's what would happen. And then when she would go to work, that's when I get the chance to watch my horror movie when she was
Okay.
gone. Because there's
Mhm.
no way in hell I'm gonna sit there and be able to watch it with her when she's home. It's just
Right.
yeah. But I think that's cool though that both of you were like in the store, and like how did you decide what to watch? Did you rent each get one movie to pick or two movies to pick? Like you get
Yeah,
to
I
pick
think
two and I get to pick two.
yeah, I think we would even back then, like I would choose some and then he would choose some, and again, if it was bad, I would be like, you made us watch this.
You can be honest with us, Ashley, and no one's gonna know this or not. But did you always pick the better movies?
Oh, absolutely. I'm
Yeah,
a good
I,
movie
I had
picker.
a feeling. I had a
Yeah.
feeling.
Oh
I
yeah.
had a feeling. Yeah. I think that's. I think I can defend Ken though for that. The reason why he picked, not so great movies. I do
Mhm.
think I think we can tie this to following the Lions because when you get used to watching not so good stuff. I think
Mm.
that affects your horror movie picking
It
too. Don't
it
you think?
it just yeah, it affects probably everything. Yeah. I
Yeah.
I think you just get used to the letdown, right?
Yeah. The SOL.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh, I think there's another word we're going to be using here in a minute called triggered. So you picked the best movies. I can see that.
Mhm.
What was the very first movie? Do you remember the first movie you guys watched together?
It was War of the Worlds that we went and seen
Oh,
in
right,
the
right.
theater.
But
Yep.
what about the first movie you saw like picking out?
I'm trying to think. I remember I can't even remember what they were called, but it was like, a whole, like, series of them that we watched, and it had different horror movies on all of them, and that's I can't remember what it was called, though, but it had some good ones on there.
Uh, and how many times did you turn to him and go like, "What are we watching and why are we watching it?"
Probably a lot. There was
Oh,
another one that was, like, I don't know if it was, like, just made for, like, DVD or what, but it was some Strangler movie, and
uh-huh.
it the Green Lake Strangler or something along the lines of that, and it was so awful. I was like, "What are we watching?"
That that's gonna be awesome.
Mhm.
See, Kevin's mentioning his wife used to be more willing to watch horror, but after we had kids, we just don't. Well, she just doesn't like it at all. I can
Oh,
I can understand that a little bit, sure.
yeah.
Um, and see, Ken's going like the Graveyard Mix.
Yeah, that's what it was, and it had a bunch of different, horror movies on it, and there were some good ones.
Yeah. Okay.
At least I remember them being good.
Multi-packs. Oh, multi-packs are the best.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Um, I mean, if you're looking to build up a collection and you find a multi-pack that has 20 movies on it, they may not be all be winners, but boy,
Mhm.
all of a sudden, for a really low price, you got 20 horror movies you can watch.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah.
can get, like, I'm trying to think of what we it had, like, The Sixth Sense and a bunch of different movies on it. It was like $5. I was like, "Let's get that, that's awesome."
Uh, let's see. Greetings from DJ Remark. Hello, glad you're
Hi.
here. And of course, the mighty Bat is here. Al Lucard, my co-host
Hello.
from the Midnight Society. Uh, everything's. See. The Bat says, multi packs are incredible. I have many. Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
he does. Yes, yeah. I have a few of those too. I do. I
Mhm.
have a lot. I have a few. I have to put them now. You guys all collect physical media, right? You guys are big
Yeah,
physical media. So do you have it all organized?
yeah. That is literally the only thing that I can get Ken to organize are the DVDs. Like, that's he could care less about anything else, but when it comes to those, like, he's got them in alphabetical order, like, he's dusting it every day, I swear.
Oh, all the secrets that are coming out tonight. uh yeah, you know what though? See, I'm the opposite. I'm like my collection just got, because it just got scattered. I didn't start collecting until after, not that long ago, but I haven't had it organized. They're all in bins for the most part.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
the
Well, if
closet, I have some in the closet, which I've shown before, which is like, it's always good when people are really down in the chat, if they need a laugh. I go show
yeah.
them. I go show them the closet so they can, like, I think my life sucked until I saw that. Yeah,
Right, there you go. And he's really we're both really into, like, showing our friends different movies, so he wants to know exactly where it is, has a little book like, "Oh, A1," and, type thing.
isn't that the funnest thing? Isn't that the fun thing though? To when you have friends come over, or and they come over, or you get invited to go over to their house. I'll bring a couple of movies over, okay? And then you come
Uh-huh,
over and try to, like, you show them, like, I'm gonna pick out two movies here. They're gonna blow them out of their seat,
mhm.
and that's got to be one of the funnest things about being a fan. Um,
Oh, absolutely.
are some of your girlfriends shocked that how much you love horror? That you talk about it, like, oh, did you see that? Did you see that new? Did you see Barbarian, or did you see Halloween Ends? What'd you think about it? And are they sort of like shocked by that, or like, or does it make them curious to see what you're watching, or they just think that you're a little strange?
I
All
guess
the
it
above.
depends on who I talk to. So, like, the girls that I grew up with, like that, they love horror just as much as I do. And I could be, call them up, and, like, me and Ken and then them and their husband will go see a horror movie. Some of the girls that I work with, I think they think I'm weird. But I'm kinda used to that because when I was a kid and you liking horror, like, horror wasn't cool when I was a kid. Like, you were a weird kid if you liked horror. Horror didn't really get cool until Scream. So I think they thought I was weird back then too, like, she's gonna be a serial killer someday or something. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the girls at work think I'm a little odd when I talk about horror, but it's me.
Do you think your love of horror led you to become a therapist because you wanted to help people? You wanted to be that final girl?
Mm. I mean, that it could be, yeah. That could definitely be. I always knew that I wanted to do something in the medical field. Like, I like to help people. That's just my personality and who I am.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I just thought about that because that's something that all right, Ham. Once again, the hand came by. Hi,
He
Ham.
wants attention.
Yeah, he hears that when we start talking. That's his signal
Hmm.
to come over to steal limelight. Okay, steal scene. Uh, yeah, I thought about that. When I asked that question, I'm like, because a lot of times people will, they'll sit there and say, "Well, I became a cop because I watched first, or Blue Bloods, or I became a firefighter because I watched Fire Country or something like that." Something they're always inspired by that, and I'm just wondering, I wonder how many people got inspired by horror films to become
Mhm.
people to help others. Um,
Yeah, so I'm really critical, and when I see, like, hospital scenes and stuff like that, like, I'll pick out the things that they're doing wrong, and I'm pretty sure it drives Ken crazy, but I'll be like, "That's not right."
oh, I'm like that
They're
too. Oh
Don't
my
they
gosh.
doing that wrong, and he's
Oh,
like, "Oh, here we go."
I'm like that when they show movies with cancer in it. I'm like that. I'm just sitting there watching and I'm going like, yeah, that's not right.
Yeah.
Um, when I go like it was funny. It's like after like I watched House afterwards. House
Mhm.
is House is a funny ass show. That's a funny. That is a funny show.
Yeah,
It's so opposite of whatever what it's like. And
right.
now, but before you watch it and you go like, oh my gosh, that guy's an amazing doctor, and he saves all these lives, and you watch it like it's serious, but then you go through a trauma, through a chronic illness, and then you go back and watch it and you go like, yeah, that's some fairy tale.
Yeah, it doesn't happen like that at all. It's a
No,
process. They're not just like, "Oh, this is what you have, like, this is the treatment." Like, it's never like that.
no, no, it isn't. Uh, hey, Cass Love, how are you? Hopefully you're doing well. That's right, a cheetah sighting. Let's see. Kevin's asking a question. Did you ever see the Lifetime movie where someone was supposed to be intubated and that just had a yanker tape to their face? Oh, yeah, I
Yes,
see that.
I've seen that a couple of times, honestly, where the yonkers just taped to their face and they're supposed to have, like, the tube down their throat. A yonker's like what they suck spit out.
Right.
Um, yeah, so
My favorite one is when they do the IV and they hit the little. Yeah, that's always my favorite.
yeah.
They'll thread that. Oh yeah, gotta hit the IV. Uh, oh
Right.
yeah, yeah. It's not dripping fast enough. Hit it again.
It's just
That's always
yep, it's just
entertaining.
gonna go. I know. It's funny.
Um, is that a distraction for you when you as a therapist? Even watching a horror movie when they do something like that, does it take you out of the movie a little bit when you see them doing it wrong? It's Hollywood, but when they still do
Yeah,
it wrong, does it take you out of the movie a little bit?
it does a little bit, I'm like because when something, like, doesn't feel real, I guess you might lose your attention a little bit, so, yeah,
Uh,
for
uh,
sure.
let's see. Let's see. Hey, that's a word I knew before tonight.
He
Uh,
did. I taught him that word. I
Yonkers,
um,
Yankers.
intubation.
Oh,
He used
oh,
to call it
integration.
he used to call it incubating, and then I taught him intubation, so now he knows the difference between the 2.
Now, did you bring home one of your training models and have them do intubate, for real?
Yeah, no. No.
Then you find all sorts of exciting things to do. Um,
Right.
some of those tubes are just like the ones that go down into your stomach.
Mhm.
And they sit there. Okay, we're gonna put this down. We're gonna put this down, and you have to swallow it. And you're putting this fat ass tube down someone's throat, and you're telling them,
Yeah.
okay, that
You're
even watching that, you feel like an involuntary reflex. Like to
your yeah, your body's, natural reaction is to, like, start gagging,
yeah.
choking on it.
Uh, Hi Betty, how are you?
Hi.
So what's been the one movie that's just kept you up at night that gave you nightmares?
Mm, recently,
Oh,
um,
okay. Let's go. The first one and the recent one.
okay, so probably the first one was, Ring. That scared the shit out of me. I literally, like, I went I s my bedroom would be downstairs and everybody else was upstairs. I don't know why my parents did that, but they did. I was I guess it was easier. I don't know. But I was like, I'm not sleeping down here by myself. Like that really scared me.
The Ring was awesome.
And yeah, that really scared me. And I think Samara is so scary. And yeah, her coming
Yeah.
out of that well, yeah, that freaked
Yeah,
me
was it?
out.
That got me with that one was the fact that it was only PG-13 because
Yeah,
that's a rare animal for a PG-13 movie to come up there and get you like that.
right.
Most of the time, PG-13 is, you know, as far as mainstream studios go, a
Mhm.
main studio, if it has a big star and it's PG-13 and it's from a big studio, it's not going to be all that scary. I've rarely been scared by anything like that. Most of the time, it's like I expect a lot of jump scares, which I'm often not disappointed because
Mhm. Right.
Uh, let's see. Hey Hobbs, hopefully you're feeling
Hey.
better, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Make sure you're drinking that water and the Gatorade.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's Ben saying I came into this conversation at a weird time, choking and gagging. Yeah, okay, it's not what it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah, um, yeah, okay, that's a good one to be. Okay, let me ask this of you two. What's one movie that Ken's been that you felt his hands grab you a little tighter than usual?
So The Dark and the Wicked, actually, that really scared him. We watched that like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we shut the blinds and stuff because we watch it on our screen, and if they're open, like it the lights in, you don't see it as well. And he was like, "You can open those blinds if you want." Like that really got him, which it is scary. It really is scary.
Oh
That
yes,
it got me
yeah.
too.
Yeah, The Dark and the Wicked is no joke.
Yeah,
That's a fine film. That's a really good film. I really
it's
enjoyed that.
it is good. It's wicked for sure.
Oh yeah. Uh yeah, because it was just so weird because you got put in the middle of it.
Mhm.
That's the thing. You got put in the middle of it and you have no idea where you're at, which way's up, which way's out. You're there. And
Yeah.
yeah, those are really intense movies.
Mhm.
Because no, you don't know how you got there or how they got to where they're at. Like the mother, like how did this happen to her? And you don't
Yeah.
know. You never find out. Uh let's see. Yep. Ken saying that movie got him bad. I understand that. Yep.
It definitely did.
Nathan says damn, I wish I could have had your reaction, Ken. Yeah, I had, that one stayed with me too, for
Mhm.
sure. For sure.
I had to
Uh,
check under the bed for him. I had to open the blinds, make sure that there was nobody outside our window just floating there.
Uh-huh. Now, are clowns scary to you, Ashley? I mean, of all the, you always hear about clown movies being scary and whatnot.
Mhm.
What kind of horror do you like the best? Do you like slasher horror? Do you like thriller horror or supernatural?
I like psychological horror. Like I really like a good twist, and especially one that I can't pick out right away. Like if you really get me on a good twist, like I will love that movie. So,
Uh,
and slashers are a very close second.
let's see, Ken saying you're embarrassing me. Uh, it's the hey Kal-El, how are you? That's
Hey.
right. It's Kal-El. Ashley's in the Cheetah Shack. That's right. Um, okay. Here we go. Yeah, Nathan saying all the secrets are coming out now.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Ken. This is what happens when you leave me alone.
that's right. In fact, give us another movie that Ken was a little spooked at. Now we got
Um,
some people watching. Now we're gonna do this for you, Ken. Or
um,
no, name another movie that shook you.
Insidious really got me. One like a newer one. Insidious really scared me. And I think actually The Lock and Key, that one gave him really bad anxiety too. I don't know what it was, but he was like, let's take a break from this for a little bit.
Yeah, I heard about that show, but unfortunately, I think it's on Netflix, right?
Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
mean, or not Lock and Key. What's the Insidious, the key one?
right. The third one.
Yeah,
Uh,
the third
yeah,
one.
where Lynn Shay's character is
When she's a little girl.
right.
Yeah.
The last key.
The
Nathan comes
last
through.
key.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nathan, you always do. Thanks, buddy.
So yeah, so that one got you, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah. What about the Conjuring series? Was that something that
Mhm.
you both you guys were like yikes, little bit scared about? I mean, that was
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
intense series. Yeah.
Those are very intense, yeah. I really enjoyed those ones too.
Let's see. Kevin saying in Ken's interview, he just kept saying how amazing his wife is, and actually, it's just exposing all his deep dark secrets.
Oh,
Hell
he
yeah!
he he's amazing. I he is an amazing man.
Uh, but
I
you know
I'll
what
I'll
though?
I'll talk good about him from now on.
No, no, don't feel like that. Look. Once you have to, it's a balance. Okay, you have to have a balance.
Yeah.
So he talks
I'll
sweetness
I'll
about you,
I'll
and
tear
you
him
gotta
down and
scare him on the other hand, like, to even balance. So,
right.
um, yeah, I get that. And now, is there any movies that you'll watch that you just looked and go like, oh hell no,
Uh,
nope, nope. I mean, not just because of the gore or the subject matter, not necessarily because
yeah.
it's serious, but it's just not your cup of tea.
I don't like things with like rape and stuff like that. Like The Last Laugh on the Left, things like that. I really Hills Have Eyes. I kind of steer away from them because I really don't like that.
Yeah, yeah. That's a really because we were just talking about that too. We're talking about torture porn. What is torture porn? And it's like,
Mhm.
I actually asked that question of the actress who was in a Terrifier 2, and
Mhm.
and it's just like, what is torture porn to you? Like, because her scene in that movie is really really long. It's 10 minutes long, and it's really really ultra brutal. And it's
Right.
like, you know, is that something that is that a movie that you would, let's put it this way, would you bring your mother to watch that movie with you in it in that situation?
Probably not. No.
Probably
More than
not.
like that. No.
Yeah. Um, Now, has there ever been a movie that you wanted to watch, and then you heard people say, "Hey, I'm about that," and then you do watch it, and you're going like, "Yeah, that's just no."
Hmm. I don't not that I can think of.
And I heard you mention earlier that Michael Myers is your favorite villain, so let's ask the
Mhm.
real big question. So, what did you think of Halloween Ends?
Oh, I did not feel like I got closure for the series. I felt like I didn't get the Michael Laurie story that I wanted. So I didn't hate it, but it wasn't exactly what I was hoping for, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think they only did one thing right for me for that
Hmm.
movie, and that is Lori survived.
Yeah,
That was really the only thing I really wanted more than anything else. I didn't care. Well, I did. I mean, the ending just I felt really bad for all the Halloween fans. I really did. I felt really bad because such a I mean, considering the setup for the first two movies, the
yeah,
setup for the third one is just completely anticlimactic and so unsatisfying. And I totally
for
understand
sure.
where they were coming, why fans were really upset. And when I read the synopsis, I have to admit I sort of laugh. I was sort of laughing because I read it the opening night. Someone posted it up, and I read the synopsis. And I sort of laughed because I'm going like, oh my gosh, the fans are going to be off the chain on this, and it's not going to be a good thing. And
Hmm.
next day I came up there, and sure enough, they're all over YouTube. Is just, oh, they're just blowing it up. They're just hating
Yeah.
on it so bad.
Yeah,
Considering
there were so many people that hated it. I didn't hate it. And I don't mind them trying to do something different, but I feel like they went about it the wrong way. This one, if they were gonna do the whole different, they should have done that in the beginning, not the last one. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I guess this character, Corey, came into the movie for the last part. You know, he was.
yeah, that didn't make sense to me. Like if they were gonna bring him in, they should have brought him in 2018 and kind of showed us what was going on from the beginning.
Um,
I feel like.
did you? Let me ask you this question because you and Kim run your channel and whatnot. Do you think that fans now? I mean, what do you think of the term fan service, where fans are sort of like demanding that they get heard in these movies, that they want, certain things in these movies that almost like touchstones.
Mhm.
Okay, you got to have this in this movie, you got to have that in this movie to make it worth my while. What do you think of fan service? Do you think that's something the studio should acknowledge, or you think it's just like, hey, go raise up your own $100 million and make your own movie?
Yeah. I think I mean I think that they should just do what they plan on doing. Like the fans are going to either like it or hate it anyways. So just make your movie and hopefully the fans will still love it, but I think it's ridiculous how they're like, they almost feel entitled,
Yes. Oh my, and that's the one thing like like I said, I was laughing because I was reading the synopsis and I'm going like, oh boy, this not gonna be good. And then
Yeah.
of course I saw some of the reactions of it. People were really frothing at the mouth at it. I'm going like, and like the one that caught me, made me laugh the most were the ones that were trying to do a petition. You know,
To have it remade.
Yeah, and I'm going like,
Right.
why don't you just do this? Go outside, go to your garage, go out there,
Yeah.
grab a couple of bags, throw some empty beer bottles in there. I'm sure you got a few around there, around the trailer, and
Mhm.
then put them up and pony up and go make your own fan movie. Then you can do your own ending the way you want it to be.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, you go, by all means, no one's stopping you. You got a cell phone. All you need is that, right? Go out there and make your
Yeah,
own fan movie. How you think it should end?
for
I
sure.
don't. Yeah. Um, do you think that as a fan, do you think that it's hard keeping a spoiler? It's hard keeping a
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
I mean, like everybody has all these. They put up their live streams. They're always talking about theories and their thoughts, and they're reporting on every single movement on the set. Do you
Mhm.
think sometimes that breaks it, deconstructs the horror movie too much? It takes away from the fans if they know everything before the movie has even come out.
Yeah, I hate that. Like, I like to be surprised. I hate knowing what's going on. Like, I don't know. When people spoil it, it drives me crazy. And
Yeah,
I want to go into a horror movie and I want to be surprised. So, yeah, I don't like
you're doing pretty good. This is like the third time he's come up. So
that.
okay, what? Yeah, okay,
He just wants attention.
yeah, yeah. He's a ham. Uh, 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 Come on, buddy. All right, he is a ham. I agree with that. Actually, I agree with that. I mean, do you and Ken talk about that a lot on your channel? Have you guys ever addressed that or a
Yeah.
topic like that? And what kind of feedback do you get from that? You ever had anybody like you sit there and say, "Hey, you know what? If you don't like the movie, the being how it is, go ahead and go ahead and you're free to make your own. That's the thing about that's the beauty of it is you're free to make your own movie now. Most studios seem to be opening up to letting more and more fan movies come online.
Mhm.
Before you couldn't do that. You couldn't do fan movies. With such a you try it and they shut you down.
Mhm.
But it seems to me like there's more and more studios are sitting there going like, by all means, take a hack at it. Um,
Yeah.
uh, so do you guys have addressed that on your channel about the
Um,
over coverage of certain projects?
yeah, I don't think, most of the people that we talk with, like if we do a live and stuff, they'll be like, yeah, I hated this movie, but they still like, well, someone made art and they still appreciate it for what it is, I feel like. So I feel like we don't really have to say that too much. But if someone makes art, then that's awesome, and it might not be for everybody, but at least you can still say that, they made this, and some people are going to like it. So yeah, I don't think we normally have to say that to too many people.
Um, so how did you and Ken decide to start a YouTube channel?
So it was actually we were in quarantine. I had just had my daughter, and we were spending a lot of time together, a lot of time. And so he was like watching horror movies and things like that, and he would do his own like top 10 and all that. And I was like, you should do that for like on YouTube. And so he started doing it, and it was his baby first. And I was just kind of like behind the scenes, and I would like feed him ideas that I would come up with. And then he was like, well, I want you to come on it. And I am more of the introvert of the relationship. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And he was like, yeah, come on, I want you to do it with me. And it took a lot of coaxing, but I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I was super nervous at first, but I feel like I'm getting better, and I'm like doing more things, doing more lives. And so, and it's something that we can do together.
It is easier to do it is easier to do it with somebody else, isn't it?
It is, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. When I have to do my own thing by myself, my reviews or whatnot, I dread it. When I do a
Yeah.
show like this, it's so much easier for me to do because it's just,
Mhm.
because you're talking to somebody else and everything else, and you got a
Right.
chat that's there and they're interacting with you, and you don't really think about stuttering too much. Like
Right.
if I do my own thing, I just hate it.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. So I mean, and I love horror movies, and I love talking horror with people. So I was like, okay, well, let's do this.
Well, speaking of a top 10, let's do a little abbreviation of that. What are your five favorite movies that you watched this year? You yourself.
This this year, Black Phone, Nope, Barbarian, Smile, and Pray.
Yeah, those are
Mhm.
really solid. I'm hoping that I was hoping to get Black Phone today, but I went to the library and the library was a desert, so I did not get anything. Uh,
Oh.
Yeah, I go to my library sells used copies of their stuff that they get. They rent out
Oh, okay.
movies, and then
Mhm.
they when they get they give after a while they turn around and give the overstock to a bookstore within the library, and
Mhm.
that's where I get all my movies from.
Oh,
And
that's really cool.
yeah, yeah, it would have been really cool today if they actually would have had something for me to go get, but
Right.
they didn't have anything. It was deader than a doornail. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah. Now, what are your five favorite actors?
Oh, my five favorite actors. Let's see. I like Devon Sawa. I think he's amazing. Um,
Have you seen Hunter x Hunter yet?
I have not.
That's a must.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a must. That's a must. That's a must. Yeah, that movie is that movie's bonkers. That movie is really it's disturbing as fuck too.
I'll have to write that one down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like I was just like yeah because we were covering that on the ISC show and because I was trying to I was trying to write to Devin. I told Ken, I said, let me give it a crack, and then I found out that he doesn't accept
Podcast.
mail on. Yeah, he doesn't have it. Oh, you guys have it. Oh, good. I love. You know what? If you guys, oh, I got to get a copy of that too because I have a copy, but it didn't work on my player, so I have to reorder it. I don't know
Uh-huh.
why, but I have to reorder it. Um, that movie is absolutely insane. That
Huh.
ending is. that ending, it got in the back of my head and it set up camp. It's really good though. It's really good.
Okay. I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Um, so yeah, let's see what I was gonna do. Devin Sawa is one. I try to contact him, but he doesn't accept mail on his Instagram. And
Oh.
I didn't know about the part about him not going on podcasts. Is that what his management said?
Oh, I don't know if he does or not. I was just when
I
you
would
said
think
that.
that I would think that yeah, I would think that he would. It's just
Yeah.
like you have to maybe fit a criteria, which I think you guys do, because your channel blew up. Your
Hmm.
channel is blowing up. You guys have over 3,000 subs.
Yeah.
That's one of the bigger channels in the community. And congratulations on that too.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you. Yeah.
so what are the four actors or actresses are in your top five?
So I said Devin Sawa. Brad Dourif, I love him, his daughter. Um, oh shit, what's her name? That plays in the Chucky series.
Isn't it with
Someone knows it. Yeah.
Brenda? Maybe I know something like I want to say it was the Fiona. Fiona.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Knew it was with
Dora. I think she's amazing. Jennifer Tilly, love her. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on names, but yeah.
I love Jennifer Tilly embraced her horror side.
Mm-hmm.
It's always cool to see that, you know. Stop it.
Tony
Stop it.
Tony Collette.
No, that's just Ken trying to screw with me.
I love Tony Collette too. I know you don't like Hereditary, but she's a good horror mom.
How can you put Tony Collette on there? Oh my gosh. She's gonna have to redeem herself before she can make that list. Ashley Marie. I
Oh
don't know.
no, we're throwing out middle names. That's my name.
Oh, he just threw that Tony Collette there. Going, oh, okay, that's some revenge right there.
Yeah.
Let's see, horror Krampus, Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense. She did really good in Sixth Sense. He doesn't like Hereditary.
I know, but you liked Hereditary.
What's that?
Did you like Hereditary?
I like it enough. I didn't really care for it the first time I watched it because I didn't. I guess I didn't. There was a lot that I didn't realize, but on second watching, I liked it more.
I will say Toni Collette is a good actress. I mean, it's not that I don't like Toni Collette as an actress. I do. I actually do, which is why it made her performance and Gabriel Byrne's performance in Hereditary. That's what made it really made me angry about it, because it's like, they're two really good actors, and one's doing an Al Pacino impersonation and one doesn't have anything to do. And it's just like, it was just a waste of a good cast. It was just a waste. To me, I think that's the biggest thing that a horror movie or any movie that can do wrong is waste a good cast on a bad story. That's right, Kal-El. That's right. It always will be, but it's not totally hate. I can't sit there and say I hate all A24 films, because I have 40 of them. I have 40 of them sitting over.
Are they the ones that are making the new Friday the 13th?
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they do with that. I'm so happy for Victor Miller.
Yeah, me too.
What did you think about that? You and Ken, have you guys discussed that yet on your channel about the A24 doing?
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I mean, we're excited, but I think we are a little nervous how they're gonna do it. But yeah, I'm excited to see how they go with it.
Yeah, I am too, because I was always on Victor Miller's side of that whole argument. It's like. What's really weird though, Ashley, is the fact that I always thought that Victor Miller, I think he just got tired of the character. I think he wanted to, he never wanted the supernatural element. He never wanted that. He's been on record saying that he did not want Jason to be that. He wanted to kill the character,
Hmm.
it was a natural story. He wanted to kill the character, so he killed Jason, and that's what he wanted. And
I
so
I'm hoping that they kind of go with the first one and make it Pamela Voorhees
they
the
will.
killer again.
Yeah,
I
they
hope that
have to.
that's the direction. Yeah.
Yeah, they have to because that's all. That's the only rights they have. They don't
Right.
have rights to Jason or the hockey mask Jason or anything else. But then again, they don't. The people, you know, gosh, Sean Cunningham doesn't have the rights to the early Jason. So he can't tell.
Right.
He can't. But I don't think but he doesn't have distributing here. So he can make a movie, but he can't distribute it here within the United States.
Mm,
That's why it's both sides. It's a pariah
right.
victory for both. They both won, but they both lost. Um,
For sure. Yeah. It's too
I
bad.
It is too bad. But I think Sean Cunningham shot himself in the foot by trying to push Victor Miller out of it, even though Victor Miller came up with, a lot of the ideas, and then try to call a, uh, a writer for hire. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
no one believed that. No one believed that. No, none of the judges believed that. I mean, it was so overwhelmingly so that Victor Miller had actually created a lot of the Jason character. It was clear as day. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I'm excited for it.
Me too. We
Uh,
we need a new one. I mean, the last one that came out was in 2009. So it's well overdue.
Kal-El says Supernatural Jason is the best for me. You know what? Yeah, I mean, they definitely had a lot of fun with those movies, and my favorite movie is Jason X of the series. But
Oh,
I also like the first four too. What, Jason X? That's good, right? You like that one?
I don't.
What?
I'm sorry, I don't.
What? Wait a minute, you like Hereditary, but don't like Jason X?
I know. You want to kick me off your channel?
Uh, that's like winning tickets to a football game and seeing the Lions or the Steelers or the Steelers. I was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah. So what are you looking forward to next year? I mean, next year, 2024 is looking to be pretty exciting. We have the new Scream movies coming out.
Hmm.
I'm sure we'll get a ton of sequels from Smile and from Barbarian, and I'm sure we'll see some of those become sequels. Is there anything really you're excited about seeing coming forward?
I am excited about Scream. And I think there's a lot of new ones coming out in 2023 that I'm
Now,
excited.
Do you guys watch Independence? I mean, do you watch the independent stuff? I mean, besides A24, do you watch Well Go USA or Dark Sky? And of course,
Mhm.
the mightiest of the mightiest. Do you watch any of the IFC Midnight films?
Yeah, I mean, we're down for anything. Any kind of horror, for sure. Anything that's entertaining.
Yeah, isn't that the case? Um,
Yeah.
now, how old are your kids going to have to be before they able to go to dad's collection and sit there and say, yeah, can we see that? How old are they going to have to be?
I guess it depends on the movie and what's in it, but I mean, my 2-year-old already loves Chucky, and so it's really we've already showed them at a very young age. So, and I guess mostly it's just like the sexual stuff. Like, obviously we wouldn't let them watch that, but other than that, like, they're my 2-year-old
It's not-
she loves like slashers and things like that. Like, she's desensitized. We went to Salem in October, and they're dressed up as Michael, Jason, and Chucky, and she's hugging them, and kids are crying, and she's like, these guys are so cool, and she's 2, so my kids are pretty
right.
desensitized to that kind of stuff.
It is sort of weird to sit there and say, yeah, I mean, it's just weird though. It's like, yeah, they can watch Jason all they want, yeah, but I don't really the sex part. That's
Just cover
American
their
film.
eyes.
That's the American film
They can
viewer
watch
though, right?
Somebody
Get,
get ripped apart, but no sexual stuff.
yeah, yeah. Slit throats are good.
Mhm.
Cryogenic face mash good. Sex
Yep.
bad.
Right.
Yeah, that though isn't that a weird dynamic?
Mhm. I
Like,
guess it's just how you're raised.
yeah, well, I guess it's well. I mean, well, we're all raised. It's like all the studios all did that. I mean, as a collective country, I think that's been pretty much the rule. Like
Mhm.
watch the slashers. It's cool, but once you put sex into it, it's bad. It's not a Pacific commentary. It's just a national commentary. It's sort
Right.
of fun. It's sort of funny because I hear that a lot about what would you let your kids watch? Well, I let them watch Irreversible, but sure as hell wouldn't let them watch Friday the 13th 2009.
Right.
Um, let's see. Kalel saying they don't discriminate. I'm not discriminating. Uh, not really. She knows Chucky is boss. Yeah, I think Jennifer Tilly embracing her role in horror. I think it really helps. I think when an actor does that, instead of fighting the character, fighting the role, like I don't
Mhm.
play that role anymore. I don't want to be identified by that role or defined by that role. I think it's when they turn around and say, you know what, I'm getting paid for it. I'm having fun doing it. I'm meeting a lot of fans from it. Why the hell not? I,
Right.
I think it's sometimes I think it's a shame that it takes an actor until they're older to realize that it's not necessarily a bad thing playing Michael Myers. It's not necessarily I feel sorry for Jamie Lee Curtis because she fought that character for so long. Like
Yeah.
there's no joy in it for her. There really isn't. I mean, her
Mhm.
character. I mean, if you really, I think if she was really honest and you sat down and you asked her, said, "Did you have fun doing this role?" I really think that she would say no.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe in like the in the beginning, because there is that she got killed off, right away because she didn't really want to be a part of it. But I think that she enjoyed these last couple movies. Like I read things about how she was sad when it was done.
Um. Yeah. I guess she wanted that closure. Like I know that she said that for sure that she wanted to have a definite end.
Hmm.
And we definitely wanted her characters to survive, which honestly I don't blame her for fighting for that too. I agree with that. I would have been horrendously wrong for have her character killed at the end.
Right.
I didn't like the fact they changed her to become Michael's sister. I never liked that plot twist. I thought that was I think
Yeah.
I was really weak. I never really accepted that. It's like nah, you know. Uh,
They went a couple different ways. I mean, the timeline's a little wonky, but it's still my favorite.
let's see. Let's see. See, Ken saying, I think for us, sex is real. It's something we're going to do in the future. They're going to do in the future. We can tell them, yeah, about killing in the movies is fake. They're not really dead. Yeah, and that really
Mhm.
helps. You can turn around and you can show a movie like, oh my God, that person's dead, and he said, well here they are here in another movie, and they're not. They're
Right.
alive. Um, let's see. Kevin's mentioning in horror movies, the kills are fake, and the boobs, well, they're usually fake as well. Uh,
Yeah,
but it
probably.
didn't matter to our parents. Um, Kal-El says she has a love-hate relationship. She's grateful, but she said the other day she hates horror. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that's what I read too. I heard that she read that too. She's just not. I was telling the story the other day. I'm sure you guys probably heard about this. Um, at the premiere, Daniel Harris and Scott Compton Taylor got invited to show up for the premiere, and
Mhm.
they went up to Jimmy Lee Curtis and they said, we were on, we did Friday the 13th too. We were the leads in some of the movies, and she looked at him and said, I don't know who you are. I never watched any of your movies, and it was
Oh.
like, yeah. Yeah, they
Hmm.
were they were really devastated by that too. That was really that was suck. Because
Mhm.
here we are, we're part of a sisterhood. You know, you know, nobody else has really played the characters like we have, and then for you to come up there and just like I mean, not even try to lie. I mean, you couldn't you at
Right.
least lied about that and said, it's
Like,
been a
"Oh, you
while.
did really good."
Yeah, yeah. But no, she just straight out said that, no, I never watched your roles. I don't know who you are. Um, yeah. Let's see. Kevin's saying, my 4-year-old is familiar with the characters because they're such part of the natural Zeltgeist. Culture is
Mhm.
Zeltgeist. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I mean, we grew up with all those characters, which is why
Yeah.
we're both typecast by it, and we're both hamstrung by it, and we're not. I mean, I heard this too. I mean, would you rather see another movie, another remake movie of like a Friday the 13th, if you had a chance to see that versus a movie like Smile? What would you go see? Would you go see The Familiar, or would you go see something new and fresh?
Um, Probably the new and fresh movie. I guess I like a new concept and to see something, new. It would be easy to say something familiar, but it gets old after a while. You want something new.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why I find myself when I watch some of these older movies again, and like we did a deep dive on Friday the 13th,
Mhm.
and all the movies were brand new to me because I have not seen them in 30 years.
Right.
Because I watched them all the time when they came out, and I just after a while I just like I've already seen it 30 times. That's enough, and then I didn't see it for 30 years. And then
Mhm.
I watched it again, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is new. I don't remember that.
Right. Yeah, you forget things. That's awesome. Like I love going to watch movies that I haven't seen in so long because you forget things about it.
Now, real quick, I'll just make this. Well, I'll make this the last topic we talk about.
Okay.
But how did you and Ken get involved in your own movie? You mentioned earlier that you write screenplays and stuff like that. Or is that screenplays is something you still write? And how did you get involved in the movie that you're in now?
So the movie that we made, is that what you're talking about? The Home is Where the Haunt Is?
Yes.
So, it's Ken really came up with the idea. He's pretty much the brains behind it. It's kind of like a love story to how his mom had passed away. And I just like to add in things like this. I think this would be cool, or I think that would be cool. And I really like to do like the recording and stuff like that. I kind of take charge over like the sets and stuff. So when something is happening, like everyone's just like hanging out and like, oh, let's do this, and I kind of take charge of it. So that's kind of where my place is in with everything, where
So
he's more of the actor.
you're the executive producer.
For sure. Yeah.
Um, Now, is this something that going forward? Is this something that after you get this movie done? Have you finished it?
Yeah, yep, it's done. It's on YouTube. We're actually working on another one called The Ofrenda, that is kind of like Hocus Pocus if it was like in your face horror, that I'm really excited for because it's like witchy, and I'm into that kind of thing. So,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Just you're not going to cast anybody looking like Sarah Jessica Parker, though, right? Okay. Good.
Probably not.
You're redeemed. Let's see. Mama Bear. Yeah, you know what though? You got to have those on a set. Executive producers. I've heard that before. That they basically come in there and they're the firemen.
Yeah,
They have to come in there and they have to put out all the fires, and it's a hell of a job.
for sure. And
And also sort of secure the money for the project too.
yeah.
That's always fun. Isn't that the funnest part about doing a movie?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that is. So do you see you guys doing you're going to get ready to do another feature film? Now, are you going to start that in the springtime after snow is over with, or are you going to start it sooner than that?
Yeah, we already have it written, and we've been doing a lot of research. And like I said, we went to Salem, now twice. And yeah, we're probably once the weather gets better, we will start filming.
Are you going to cast from you going to cast locally or maybe from Detroit, or are you going to do a nationwide search?
More than likely locally.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you guys have a little acting community within your town?
Um, our town's pretty small and kind of they, but I think that we could probably find some people, yeah, around here.
Ann Arbor. You're not that far away from there.
No, not very far.
Yeah, you could get a cast.
Hmm.
Listen, I want to thank you for coming and hanging out with us. I absolutely had a blast tonight.
Yeah.
This was a
Thank you
lot
for
of fun,
having.
and definitely well worth the wait. I mentioned before he came on that me and Ken had talked about doing some collaborations, and I think that'll probably suit best well in January because you know how hard December is.
Oh yeah.
December is probably the hardest month of YouTube, I think,
Hmm.
because everybody's doing Christmas things, and it's
Yeah,
coming
there's a
hard,
lot going on. Yeah,
lot
either
going on.
October or December. They're pretty hefty months
Uh,
of stuff going on.
Yeah, I think October was really heavy as far as YouTubers go, as far as putting content on the
Hmm.
YouTube. December is really hard because people they're not putting content on YouTube because they're too busy, doing shopping and all sorts of Christmas activities and whatnot.
Right.
I always thought that January would be a good month to get back into things. Like I'm trying to book my December right now, and I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be like this is not the easiest beast to do.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's a little difficult.
Right.
Um, I got what do I got? I got 13. I got 13 shows to fill, and it's like, yikes, it's already the middle of the month, and I only got like four. Um,
Oh geez, yeah.
yeah. So, but once you get that one guess that you're looking for, everything else falls into place.
Yeah,
Everything.
absolutely.
Um, yeah, so I want to talk to you guys again. Do some collaborations. I hope maybe we'll get together in January and have fun and put our two channels together, or you can come on and visit us on the Midnight Society with me and Al and JT.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Um, yeah,
absolutely.
this was a hell of a lot of fun, and thank you so much for coming out and talking with us.
Yeah.
Um, I want to thank the chat for hanging out with us and offering a
Yeah.
lot of fun comments. I appreciate that. Ken, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
you
letting your
guys
wife
are
come on
awesome.
and talk. I don't know if you've ever seen the show or not. You probably haven't.
But I actually, after you asked me, I went and watched a bunch of them. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully you watched Ken's. Ken
I
was.
I did. I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
I
gonna
did watch
say
his.
He was a very fun interview, and
Yeah.
yeah. And when you guys get the new movie done and wrapped and ready to go, we'll have you come on and talk about it.
Okay.
And
Yeah, sounds good.
maybe even have some of the cast members come on and talk about it.
Mhm. That'd be great.
Um, all right, to you guys, real quick. We will be back tomorrow night. We are talking to wildlife rehabber Brenda, aka Possum Mom. She is a possum rescuer. She rescues and rehabilitates
Oh,
possums.
that's awesome.
I know it's gonna be so much fun. Uh, possums are actually rather cute. Actually, they really are. They're really and so we're going to talk about what it takes to rehab possums and why they're so important to us. And, as a microcosm on us, they're important. All the other animals are important, and we want to take care of them because they're taking care of us, whether we know it or not.
They
Um,
eat your
so
ticks.
yes, that's right. That's right. They eat your ticks, and they're non-rabid. They're also non-rabid.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm sort of shocked that we have not gotten a rabies vaccine from a possum.
Mhm.
I mean, how do they not get sick? But that's what we'll ask tomorrow. And then Thursday, we have film director Brendan Slagle will be here with us. He's got a new movie coming out called Battle of Saipan that stars Louis Mandylor and Casper Van Dien. and he'll be coming to talk to us on Thursday about what it was like shooting down in Thailand. And he's shot some other films too, Attack of the Unknown, Crossbreed, and The Dawn. And he'll be here with us on Thursday, 8 o'clock. And yeah, it's gonna be a great week. I'm glad you guys are here for it, and we will see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Thanks for coming out, and you stay right where you're at, Brenda, or not Brenda. Ooh, Lord. Ashley, stay right you're at, and then I did that already once to somebody else too. And
okay.
then I'll yeah. All right, guys, thanks for coming out, and we will talk at you soon.
Bye, guys.